What's up, family? I've been meaning to kind of turn my blogs that I have written on multiple sites into vlogs and do kind of like a audio, visual reading and addition to some of the blogs that I've written. So I decided to start with this one, a blog I wrote. When did I write this thing? Yeah, June 1st, 2020. Called Smoke and Mirrors. And the reason I'm starting off with this one is because my attention was brought back to the George Floyd trial that I haven't kept up with, and I really don't know many details about at the moment. I'm not necessarily interested in knowing the details because I do understand the tactics and the type of distractions that the powers that shouldn't be try to throw at us. I was looking to see if I could find anything comprehensive about this. If someone has a really good, open-minded article that is up to date, or possibly a video, if you could share with me, I'd probably update the blog or maybe even redo the video. Who knows? But at the moment, I haven't found anything that was worth looking at. So I just wanted to go back and review the blog and talk about some of the elements and kind of review, this whole story of the whole situation with Floyd and the protests that, came out about that. And basically the race tension, that the division, let's just put it in a general umbrella, the division that keeps being thrown at us as noise. So anyway, yeah, the blog is called, and I wrote this blog I submitted this to the Autonomy Network. Autonomy is a self-development course that I am a graduate, an apprentice, and a community member of. And I like to really keep it simple in explaining autonomy to people. And I like to say it is the school that you wish you had. It is the university experience, the dynamic experience that, we wish we could have had. And I was able to, and I am able to continue to experience that. And I'm so grateful for the community and the opportunities and just being amongst excellent people. So I submitted this to Autonomy. And yeah, this was, I think, the second blog I submitted or I put on the platform. And yeah, so I'm going to share it here. It's called Smoke and Mirrors, written by yours truly, Khalik Sim, on the Autonomy member blog. So let's dig into this thing. Let's see what I wrote. Let's see how well it aged or whatever it may be. And I also have a poem at the end. So yeah, let's get into this. I found myself pacing to and fro, being consumed with the images, news, and riots surrounding the murder of George Floyd. Floyd, a black male, was murdered by Derek Chauvin, a white male police officer from Minneapolis. I was eager to provide some form of contribution, especially after seeing how much attention is on this event. Several days before this incident, I was perplexed with the timing of the first racial confrontation at Central Park in New York City between a white woman and a black man. This led to the outrage at this week's demonstration. I don't want to get lost in my opinions about these incidents, and I'm trying to remember this specific incident that I'm talking about here. It would have been nice if I posted a link or something. So my apologies for that. I'll look it up and try to post it to this for the show notes for this video. But yeah, I'm not perfect, and I recommend people do their due diligence in researching things and whatnot. But I will do my best in trying to uncover what I was talking about specifically in this paragraph and put it in the show notes. So anyway, moving along. I don't want to get lost in my opinions about these incidents because that leads to less emphasis on the critical questions. I just want to focus on my extreme curiosity of the timing of this racial altercation, or at least the fixation of the mainstream media's attention. It's not my intention to underplay racism and the extremity of these two events. Extremity of these two events. However, it has been months since the media was engulfed in bloodthirsty headlines of Trump Russia and racial division. Why is it that the media is pivoting its attention towards this event when it has focused on COVID-19 since January? What is the significance of these events? I was able to answer these questions after realizing many things, including that both of these events happened on the same day, hours after each other. Details I discovered only after I committed to writing this piece. Both of these events are racially biased. These events occurred while many states began rolling back their stay-at-home orders, while SpaceX and NASA launched the first astronauts on a historic test flight. They also followed shortly after the CDC released its reports documenting how the pandemic fatality rates dropped from its original rate of 3.4% to now 0.26%. And remember, this article is dated. They transpired after reports were surfacing about how the clinical trial results for its groundbreaking COVID vaccine could not be much worse. And now that COVID is of no use at the moment, this bait draws once quarantined citizens to the brink of chaos. Is it me, or something doesn't add up? There are far too many details to comb through, but I'll brush through some. Details don't add up in how George Floyd allegedly worked in the same nightclub as the officer who killed him. Even more confusing, Derek Chauvin's officer who killed George, neighbors said they didn't even know he was a cop. How about how the medics sloppily and negligently handled this situation? I'm just gathering what I've heard. And I want to emphasize that at that point. Like, I'm not saying those details right there are the smoking gun. I'm just saying those are details I was coming across and seeing the different layers and different stories and dimensions to this whole situation. And I have those in the show notes. However you feel about it, their details. I guess a good investigator or journalist would look at everything and let the viewers come up with their conclusion, right? So moving along. This is the same confusion protesters witnessed during the George Floyd protests, where many of them identified undercover cops and Antifa members hijacking and infiltrating the protests. And now CNN is claiming that a white supremacist group is posing to be Antifa to stoke up chaos and violence. It seems like orchestrated chaos, as Really Graceful mentioned in her video, Cubono, Who Benefits. I'm just attempting to protect our energy and attention from organized deception at the expense of a man who was unjustly murdered. There are plenty ways we can handle this injustice, and destroying our cities and exhausting our precious energy and resources are not some of them. I believe that to honor the life of Mr. Floyd, we would organize ourselves similarly to that of the Black Panthers, the Underground Railroad, Black Wall Street, and many tactics alike. We can even see communities like the Jews who organized their own private volunteer patrol called the Shorim, or like the citizens of Chiron, Mexico, who built a community-based system for their own civilian militia. I am recommending that communities police themselves, and also that we find alternative solutions to these problems that we encounter. There are platforms that help groups organize and collaborate locally, paving the way for decentralized intentional communities. This event and the attempt to usurp our liberties is a call to action. a call to strategize for harmonious collaboration. There are many ways to tackle our grievances. Pick a task and complete it. After all the pacing, I allowed my thoughts to pace on the canvas of my notepad. And looks like a typo, and out sprung this poetic piece called PYPG, Protect Your Pineal Gland. So it goes, we allow these optics to deceive our optics. We use our limited vision and strain our third vision, the plentiful decisions to choose where one's attention is driven. I imagine the spirit is diminished in fragments of nihilism, all in the name of reaction. The extraction of emotion is an age-old tactic. We've been deceived beyond correction. There's only pestilence in this direction, the piper's tune of misdirection. For God's sake, revoke this very oppression, where your energy is pushed toward aggression. We demand change from men who are old dogs, with old tricks, stuck in old ways, of which can't be fixed. Like a battered spouse looking for another chance, maybe it's time to learn a new dance. In this energy is little opportunity for evolution. The elaborate range of deception, it could pull your heart in each and every direction. Protect your soul from the agenda of a foe's perception. Protect your pineal gland, the master input for frequency reception. Don't let them steer your rage. Don't let them set the stage for the real martial law. We must replace our habits of running to the streets and instead mobilize our fleets against the schemes of the elite. Let the gland guide you through these dark times. And I continue to say, in this time of crisis, it would benefit us to develop our skills, sharpening our mental self-defense, nonviolent communication, and financial independence skills. If you find yourself, as I have, looking for an environment to help reinforce these priceless tools, check out Autonomy, the self-development underground railroad of independent thinkers. Check that out. I got 2 ratings, 2 5-star ratings. So, yeah, I wanted to revisit this piece and see how it aged. I saw some typos and some things that I could have written better, but for the most part, I do believe it still stands. It's still a standalone piece that aged pretty well in the sense of, business as usual. Same old noise that they try to throw toward us and the distractions and these division tactics. I mean, this is what they're doing to us, guys. That's why we have to protect our pineal gland. We have to protect our energy. We have to stay connected to source, because otherwise our hearts are going to be pulled, our minds, our attention is going to be pulled in directions that don't edify us. So, with that being said, don't get caught up in the smoke and mirrors. I hope you like this. If you're interested in knowing more about Autonomy, you could click the link. I'll have it in the show notes. I look forward to doing more of these. I have several posts, blogs, a few of them that I've done with Autonomy, and some of them that I've written and I never really released. So they're somewhat aged, but I want to revisit them and kind of give them more life in the sense of a visual, audio representation of it. And see you on the next one.